after they get to be 14 years old, that's the last year they can race.
They can race until he turns 15 years old. At that time, he is of no more value to the racetrack. And if they're good enough, they retire to breeding, and they breed mares and raise families.
Education begins from the day he is born, and that continues right on through until he gets to the point where he's used to being handled every single day.
they get about 6-7 months of age, we'll wean them, and we take them on up to the yearling farm. That's the last he's seen of his mother. Of course, the next day you got to milk these mares out and dry them up. The mares, when you first turn them out, they'll run up and down. Some mares take a couple of days for it to quit hollering for them, but generally by the next day the mares have quit running the fence and hollering for them.
Start with these colts. They're practically wild animals, and you have to treat them as such.
True, they are wild when they're raised. They're born, they're raised in a field, and now you take them and you bring them into a barn area and you confine them to a
break
stall.
Break them to harness and prepare him for his education to the point where he finally makes his first race.
And handling. You have to handle this animal quite a bit. You have to first halter break him, get him used to a halter. And then you have to put a harness on him. You have to lead him around with the harness, and you walk him around with the harness for a couple of days, and what we call line driving him to get him used to all the equipment and the fixtures around the racetrack. Then they hitch him to a cart and they take him up on the track and they start jogging him, and he gets mixed up with other horses. And once he develops some kind of confidence in the fellow that's working with him, or the girl or whatever it may be, he responds very quickly.
Up at 6,000. Take a look at the filly. The owner at 770 goes out 65. Now 770. Owner at 770 will go. At 65, 78. Now wait down to go 80, go 80, go 80. Somebody out at 72. 75. 75. 100 go. The owner 75. 100 again.
Pacing is strictly a man-made gait.
Most horses were born to trot and born to canter and born to gallop. They weren't born to pace. You might say that pacing is a developed form of racing.
When we put them on the pace, we put what we call a pair of hobbles on their legs, and that's a man-made gait. We force them to pace. They won't pace by themselves. We start real slow. You walk them and get used to those straps on his legs. You have to tie his legs. You have to tie his front and back legs together. That's what the hobbles do. They tie to one side of their body together, and they force a forward and backward movement of the same side of the horse. And starting in with a slow jog, and then gradually increase the speed to see whether they can really compete in horse races with this gait.
But when we first brought him in to jog him and put shoes on, but before we put shoes on him, we pick up his feet each day to get him used to his foot up and pound on him, pound on his heels, and, so he knows what was coming. So when they go to the blacksmith shop, the blacksmith won't have such a job shoeing a colt.
When they first start breaking them, average of when they're yearlings, babies, they'll handle a lot. By the time they get 18 months old, and they're pretty well broke. A little scared, first time.
You work them in fields and never put shoes on them. And you get them on these hard stone dust racetracks, they wears their feet just like sandpaper. It cuts their feet right down. And if you don't have shoes on them, what's the foot going to be?
Bad feet, the nails won't hold it. And that clip in the toe, when he hits on the ground, that shoe, that clip in the toe will hold it. The shoe keeps slipping back.
Or burn into your foot so it'll hold on better.
Hasn't been too good in the blacksmith shop, so you don't have to snatch him and throw him around too much and hurt him. You just put it up under his lip, and he behaves pretty well this way.
It makes the horse do what man wants. There can be stronger bits that pull up against the gums of the mouth, ropes that go around the bottom jaw, and you pull right on the whole jaw. It makes them do what you want them to do.
These animals are bred to be competitive. They have the racing heart and the spirit to go along with competing with other horses. And once they get a few races under their belt, they get to be very competitive, and they will try to beat the animal that's in front of them all the time.
Sometimes you got just a gentle snap of the whip will wake up a horse and he'll pick up again. And sometimes it's necessary to keep right on hitting them, because the minute you stop, they'll quit. They'll fold right up and figure the race is over. So then you have to go after them with a whip and make them pick up and keep on going till you tell them when to quit, not when they decide to quit. You've got to make them understand that they quit only when you tell them to quit. And sometimes the only way you can tell them when it's time to quit is when you stop whipping them in the stretch. Public wants speed. The emphasis is always speed, speed, and more speed. It's speed that brings about a tremendous toll in horses, too. Excessive speed on hard tracks. That's why our tracks over the years have become more difficult for horses to handle, and almost like concrete highways. They're so hard, but they give speed.
Another reason they break is they are very competitive, and they're racing up to their full potential, and the man is now trying to go beyond the potential, and he taps him with the whip, and he doesn't have any more potential left, so he just overpaces or overtrots himself and makes a break.
Killed just as a human can be killed by pushing them beyond their physical ability or beyond their physical endurance.
It's either that or die, either go on and bust the blood vessel and die.
How much faster can you push a horse before that horse's legs or his heart or his muscles or his tendons just give up completely? You might do it for a while, but sooner or later that horse is just going to absolutely collapse and wear out very quickly. You're overtaxing their physical being to the point where their legs won't stand up, and the hardness of the tracks must put a terrible sting and strain on those feet of theirs, and you'll race them once or twice, but you're not going to race them every week in and out at those tremendous speeds without something happening.
When a horse is pushed to his ultimate speed, and whoever is driving him or taking care of him is pushing for more, which we all do at different times.
Trying
we push for more speed,
develop more speed out of a beautiful animal than it is really necessary to develop in order to satisfy the gambling instinct of the public, which is primarily what the whole business is all about. And I think the public would bet on a horse that could race on 3 legs if there was the opportunity to make a little money gambling on 3-legged horses. It's nice to watch a horse that can go a sub-2-minute mile, and you always feel better because there's so much tremendous speed there and the purse looks bigger. A 158 or a 157 mile is exciting and everybody's thrilled, but the end result is pretty much the same when you start adding up the dollars that have gone through the windows.
4G Hanover, driven by Mike Izzo. Number 5, United Hanover, owned by the Romack Farms Associates, driven by Waller Laudine. Number 6, Celtic Star, owned by Marjorie Shore, Virginia Green, driven by Joe Green. Number 7, Sweet Leilani, owned by Margaret Ingracia, Ernest Lobier, driven by Paul Ingracia Jr.
Hope for the lead away quickly is King Prom, joined from the outside by United Hanover. Celtic Star moves up quickly in the 3rd, hold high with the rail in 4th. Then it's King Becker, followed by G. Hanover, away last with Sweet Leilani. Swing off the turn, head to the quarter. Up top is King Prom and Celtic Star going up now into 2nd, going right up the bid for the lead. Staying along the rail in 3rd. 2 back is United Hanover, followed by Hold High, together with King Becker. Then it's G. Hanover, and the trailer is Sweet Leilani. They go the quarter in 29 and 4. They move to the turn for the half mile. Celtic Star in front by 2.
Mark,
Second
get up.
is King Prom as they move on the turn now. Go to half in 1-2-1. Celtic Star in the front end as they turn down the back stretch. Lead the length and a half. Second, King Prom, and King Prom's going to go up the challenge now, followed by Hold High, also on an outside move as United Hanover's closing ground from the rail. 3 back to King Vicker, then it's Sweet Leilani together with G. Hanover down the back stretch to the 3/4. Celtic Star's lead is a tight length on King Prom as they reach the 3/4. Into 3rd now from Hold High on the rail is United Hanover 4. 3/4, 131-4. Swing on the turn, and Celtic Star, and up top from the quarter is there by a length and a half. In 2nd is King Prom. Celtic Star turning it on, opens it to 3. 2nd is King Prom. Now Hold High takes up the chase on the outside and trying to chase down Celtic Star, but Celtic Star has opened it to 3 to 4 lengths. Through the deep stretch, it's Celtic Star.
The animal, after he's through racing, like he turns 15 years old, he can't race anymore and be competitive anymore.
If there was a real good racehorse, some people retire and just have to keep them on farms.
Just lead a merry old life in the field by themselves, and nature takes care of them. Some horses are crippled, they're put away, they're put to sleep, they get them out of their misery after they're through racing, and
some are just destroyed, put away.